Welcome, everyone, to Ticket Stubs and Popcorn. I'm Peter.
And I'm Frank.
And today's featured actor is going to be Denzel Washington.
Oh, I gotta love him. Hey, before we get started,
Yeah.
I've got another annoying for the end question for you.
Okay.
First, before we even do that, have you noticed the new chairs?
Have I noticed that our posture is
Have you
better?
noticed that
Yes.
your posture? And we're sitting up, and it's nice. So
We're big boys
production
now.
values, folks, screaming production values, right? Anyway, so yeah.
Makes
so,
us feel important.
or impotent. So
Either one, whatever it is.
while we're talking about Denzel Washington, I want you to think about this. So, so you know how sometimes you know how sometimes you're watching a movie, and I thought about this when we were talking about Sean Connery. Like, it's one of those movies where like you sort of forget that like Robert De Niro was in it, and we mentioned that. So,
in the
when we were talking about Sean Connery,
right,
couple of shows ago. So,
yes.
What is a movie or a role in a movie that when you watch it and you see this person come in, you go, "Oh yeah, I forgot they were in this. Oh yeah, I forgot they were in this." One of those, kind of like with because like I said, Robert De Niro
in the Untouchables.
In the Untouchables, for me, it was very much just like, he's in that. So think about that.
All right.
As we're talking about Denzel Washington.
Okay.
So talk to me about Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington. We'll start with me first.
Go, yeah. You
Okay.
Go ahead.
Denzel Washington.
Yeah. What do you got?
Fine actor.
One of the
really
best.
is. Yeah. And consistent too for a long time. And I think because of that, he makes some good choices in movies too.
Okay.
Picks some good ones. All right. So I would say my first pick, and it's not number one necessarily.
Right. Yeah. No.
It's just what's coming to mind, and I want to say it also was his first big role was Glory.
Okay.
So like that movie, it's been a little bit for me, although not too long ago. But I like Glory a lot. In the movie, he's a former slave. I don't know if he's a runaway slave necessarily, but he's just angry. Resentful.
As I think one would be,
yes,
given those circumstances.
Yes, he's angry and resentful, and I think perhaps his reasoning for joining up, and just to, if you haven't seen the movie, you should see the movie.
Go see the movie. It's fantastic. Well, you can't go see it. Go to your living room and see it. And tip or click or tap or whatever you're doing. Yeah.
So it's a movie about this historical Massachusetts 54th Regiment, I want to say, because it was the first African American regiment in Civil War. So that's the setting, and so they're giving you a little slice of the different African American men who have joined up. And so he's, like I said, he's particularly angry and resentful. And so you just, everybody develops through the movie, but he's particularly good at it. I can remember a scene in the movie where they are bivouacked with there's maybe 8 people sharing a tent, I want to say, and so he's there, and he's just, he's not a happy man,
right?
And so he's sharing the tent with one character who is like a free-born Massachusetts black man who's well-educated, and so he shares the tent with him, and he just wants to pick a fight with him. Morgan Freeman's in the tent, a little older. Same thing. He's like a former slave also. just wants to pick a fight with him because he's the old man who's a little wiser, and he's a little calmer. So
Denzel's just raring to fight.
Yeah, he just wants to fight. And it's not comical, but he almost picks a fight with the mute drummer boy. I mean, it's a boy. He's like 10 or 11 years old, and like he wants to pick a fight with anybody,
which is not cool. Yeah, usually a little boy's going to talk back, and this little boy is not going to talk back.
No, he's not even going to say a thing.
So it's just a great performance, and then of course he changes a little bit. He starts to. I'm not going to say mature because that's not what it is. He comes to the realization that he needs to work a little better with others, and it's just a great movie. And I want to say that that's the movie that really kind of catapults him in our eyes, the viewers' eyes, the public's eyes, and definitely in Hollywood's eyes. So that one always, I love that movie. Yeah. And it's, I just like that performance. It's a good one. And I want to say another movie of mine, a favorite performance. It's probably on everybody's list. I would say Training Day. What can you say about that movie? And once again, if you haven't seen any of these movies that we mentioned for anybody, you should try to go see them. Training Day, he's just, as his character says, King Kong ain't got nothing on him. He's, oh boy, he's corrupt. He's anything vile and evil in a lot of ways, but at the same time, there are times that you start to side with him, and you're going to agree that, at the beginning, maybe this is the way to deal with crime on the streets. In Training Day, just in case if anybody doesn't know, he's
spoilers.
Undercover detective, narcotics division, and the whole that just leads him to his own survival and how he's come to deal with stuff. And he's supposed to be the mentor figure in the movie. Not so much of a good example, but he is an example.
Well, he does mentor, but it's all about, what do you consider, the lesson to be.
Yeah. So that one is just tremendous. It's over the top. I mean, really, he's just goes over the top on that one, but it's just tremendous performance.
Yeah.
Whether or not you could hold this up to be an example of a good policeman, probably not.
Probably not. No.
It's a great acting performance, wonderful performance. I don't know how believable maybe the ending of the movie is, but that has nothing to do with him.
Well, it's not a documentary.
That's true, but just a tremendous performance. I really enjoyed that one a lot. And my third pick would be a movie that came out not too long ago. The movie may not be the best movie he's in. Matter of fact, I would say it is not the best movie he's in, but I really appreciate his performance in Roman J. Israel Esquire.
Okay.
It's a different role for him. He's what do you want to say? He's like socially crippled almost. He is just such a misfit. He's a lawyer, and he has like a photographic memory, so he's very good at research. He knows what he wants to do. But in the social setting, he's just a fish out of water.
Awkward. Yeah.
I never saw it. He is like, even his, the way he dresses is even like 20 years late. And he's just not he's just so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it's so strange to see Denzel Washington acting like this. But he pulls it off very nicely. He's like a human rights fighter, so he's there for to represent legally, the rights of the downtrodden.
Yeah.
And
So in terms of that, he's like, he's got his ducks in a row. He knows what he wants to do. He's just not a people person. He's just so socially awkward. It's crazy. But he's very good in the movie.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that. The other thing I just thought of this. Speaking about the career of Denzel Washington, I just realized it now. Glory has to be late 1980s.
Yeah.
Training Day is 2001. And the only reason I remember that is because I think that movie came out or was coming out when 9/11 happened. And I think it even got bumped a little bit. Like they may have pushed it off a little bit of time. So that's like 2001. And I want to say that Roman J. Israel Esquire is...
That's in the last couple
maybe
of years,
2017,
Yeah.
2016. So right there, so you have like a gap of, 10 years and then maybe almost 15 to 20 years. So he's got a great body of work.
Yeah, there's a lot of
going
good
all
stuff.
That time
There's a
too.
lot of good stuff in between there too.
Very good stuff.
Yeah.
So those are my three Denzel
Yeah,
Washington
3 Denzels. All right.
performances. Yep.
Cool. All right. We overlap with Training Day.
I figured that would I think would be on almost anybody's list.
Before I get into mine, though, folks, I just want to remind you to like and subscribe if you would. That would be fantastic.
If you have comments to make,
please. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, we've been checking them.
So,
and if you have questions to ask, actors to request, just put them in.
Throw it all in there. So, all right. So my first one, because it's kind of different than what we normally see Denzel in. Much Ado About Nothing.
Oh,
so yeah,
he's a little Shakespearean.
Turn there. And I pick it because it's really fun.
He looked good in tights.
He looked good in tights. Yeah. It's a great movie. Everyone in it is fantastic. But I think it's one of those roles where I think that when you think about Denzel Washington, there's very little whimsy involved. Okay? And this is really fun. He plays a really, really fun character. And it's kind of light, and it's fun to see him playing that kind of role.
Yeah.
So that is that's one of my favorite ones of him. Totally contrasting that. Yeah, I'm gonna say Training Day. And Training Day is one of those movies that is just preparing for this. Full disclosure, everybody, I had never seen Training Day. That movie's 20 years old, and I avoided it because it always seemed to me like one of those movies that was just kind of stereotypical. You got the new kid, you've got the corrupt mentor guy, and it's going to be the streets, and everything about it is such a stereotype type that I didn't want to see it. And then I watched it, and his performance is so fantastic. It's explosive, and there's the playfulness that I mentioned from Much Ado About Nothing does kind of show up, but it's a little bit more terrifying. When he's just like out of nowhere, he'll just boom, and it's kind of scary. And it's one of those movies where this character is at any time I could picture him doing something like just shooting Ethan Hawke in the head at some point. That being said, it's a great performance. The performance didn't surprise me because I've been watching Denzel Washington for 30 years, and he's always great. I can't think of a Denzel Washington movie where I've been just like, oh, this is crap. But Training Day for me is a really fantastic performance in what I suspected was a stereotypical movie about corrupt cops in the streets. So in that sense, the movie was a little disappointing for me, but his performance was great in it. I can't quite say that his performance elevated the movie, because for me the story was, I've seen this movie 1,000 times, and again, the movie's 20 years old, so I really shouldn't have to say spoiler alert. But
we never know.
I know, right? But the fact that he gets killed at the end, like there was only two ways that this movie could have ended. It was either going to be he gets his comeuppance at the end and he's killed, or it takes the more cynical approach, and it's just like, oh, that doesn't happen. He gets away with it. The streets suck, and this corruption that he tries to bring out of Ethan Hawke, or actually that he tries to pull Ethan Hawke into. He's either going to be the mentor that makes Ethan Hawke a bad guy, or that Ethan Hawke is just going to walk away. So any of those things, I'm watching this movie and I'm just like, okay, it's leaning more toward he's probably just going to get killed in the end, and either Ethan Hawke is going to kill him or the Russians are going to kill him. So there was nothing in this movie that made me go, ooh. There was no way that Ethan Hawke was going to get killed in the bathtub. That just wasn't going to happen. There's the scene where the gang guys are going to kill him, and he's saved by the fact that he had prevented the cousin of one guy from getting raped or something.
Yeah, right.
Because, yes, you knew that the wallet they find on the ground is going to come back later.
Yeah,
because
he
of
picks
course
it up.
it is. So in that sense, the movie itself was slightly disappointing. And I think that, again, it's because I avoided it for 20 years. For the very reasons that I sort of proved out when I did finally watch it. His performance, love it. That's why I'll include it in one of my favorite Denzel Washington performances.
Richly deserved Academy Award.
Most
for that
definitely. But again, the movie was kind of like,
oh yeah. Actually, Ethan Hawke is very good in that movie.
Yeah,
he doesn't come up a lot of times in my own memory banks as like, oh, I got to go see an Ethan Hawke movie. That one's a good performance, though.
I can't even think of an Ethan Hawke movie I should see. So there's a spoiler right there. Ticket Stubs and Popcorn is probably not going to be doing an Ethan Hawke retrospective.
I'll make sure his name comes up in the bucket. Don't worry.
So I'm going to say Gattaca for the last time. So,
Gattaca.
Why? No more Gattaca.
I'm not saying a thing.
Gattaca less. So anyway, let's see, my third one would probably be Man on Fire.
Oh, okay.
That's one of those movies that is just sort of simmering. One of the things I like about Denzel Washington generally as an actor is that he's very even, and even in Training Day, he's just sort of like just bubbling at the surface, and then when he's gonna lose it, boom, he snaps, just like boom in the movie. So, but I think that in Man on Fire, when he finally does go after the guys who took the girl, it's just like, oh shit, you guys are in so much trouble right now.
You're gonna get it.
He seems pretty chill, but no, this is gonna go badly for you. So, and really, you just want to yell at the screen. It's just like, bad guys, you need to run. So, and other, like my fourth, fifth choice would be like, he's like that in Equalizer.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just very kind of even, but that there's an explosiveness just below the surface. And it's nice. That tension is really, really exciting to watch. So, and Man on Fire is, I think, a better movie overall than, say, Training Day. One could argue that that's also one of those movies that he's going to get the bad guys because he's Denzel Washington.
Right,
he's going to do it. But it, I don't know. It's better than that, and I don't think that it works so hard to make the whole entire environment so super duper stereotypically scary as they do in Training Day.
Right.
So that there's dangers that he's going into. But his character and his portrayal of this character is just so cool and confident and calm. It's just like, oh yeah, shit's gonna go down.
He's
but
just he's
an
excellent actor.
Yeah,
Let's
and
face
it's
it.
just
He just is.
it's just a great it's just a great portrayal of someone who's calm and confident, and he's got this. And if you're in trouble, you're in a lot of trouble when you're in trouble with him.
When you're in trouble with him.
When you're in trouble with him, you know that you're in trouble. So those would be my three Denzel Washingtons. So
We should probably take this point to remind people.
yeah, tell them. Don't tell me. I know. I like
You already
and subscribe
know it.
to everything.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
It says it on the bottom of the thing
Right, it's
where
there
I put
somewhere.
the thing. That's not clickable, but you know how to do it. It's down in the thing. So
Yeah, so like, subscribe, give us a comment, share.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear.
So yeah. So I asked you,
Yeah, and I've been stalling for
and
time,
you've been stalling
I think.
for time
Yeah.
completely. So you know
Yeah.
what?
No, I do have one though.
Oh, okay.
Well, and let me just say this. I think I know how you've asked this question,
Mm-hmm.
but there are occasions where there will be a character or an actor who is in cameo, and they're almost like hidden in the movie, but on purpose. So this is not that.
Well, give me an example. Of that.
All right, in Pulp Fiction, Steve Buscemi's in the movie, but a lot of people wouldn't even know that.
Yeah,
But he's
that's not what I
disguised. Well, I shouldn't say disguised. He's made up as a Buddy
Yeah,
Holly
as a
impersonating
buddy,
waiter.
Yeah, that's more of just a little bit.
That's just the thing.
And
so
I don't.
a
You know
lot of
what?
people wouldn't say that that's like, I forgot he's in the movie. I mean, you may have forgotten in the movie, but only after somebody told you he was in it.
But here's the thing. You know what's interesting about that? At that point in his career, because it was early, we're still talking like early
but
90s. At that point in his career,
I still
I
seen
think-
him in a couple.
Oh,
yeah.
No. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, at that point in his career, that part is less of a cameo and just a small part. And I think that there's a difference between someone having a small part and then someone having a cameo.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
yes.
and
yeah.
that's a whole
because
other
he's
topic.
he's a hidden. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But he was in, Quentin Tarantino's first movie,
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs, which is a very big part.
yeah,
And then he's kind of like
he's got like the little
given
the
this little
bit
gift,
part.
little thing, have fun
Yeah.
with this little.
But I think that's more of
In the
a. I
second
wouldn't
movie.
call it a.
No. I know it. I was just trying to say, like, that's a different situation. That's not I forgot. So the role that the actor who I forget is in a movie is Tootsie. Bill Murray is in the movie, and he's the roommate of Dustin Hoffman.
That is,
And it's
you know
like
what,
every time you watch
is
that movie, you'll
exactly-
be like, I forget Bill Murray's in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's not like a 20-second scene. He's in a couple different
Yeah.
scenes because he's his roommate.
Yeah, that is sort of a.
Yeah. So that one, I had to think of it while we were doing Denzel, and I'm like, oh boy, I really have to come up with something. But that is one that I always pleasantly surprised with. That one, just like, I forgot he's in this movie. So I think that one kind of stands in my mind as, I always forget that one. And it's got, and if you haven't seen Tootsie, you got to go see Tootsie. But that was a great movie. I mean, I'm not sure if it's I haven't seen it in a little bit, but I mean, I don't know if it probably still holds up.
I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to think if it's one of those movies that they couldn't make today. So, and that's another question.
Which is
We'll
another
do for
thing,
another time,
yeah.
I
don't know. What's
my
I forgot.
would be. I mean, there's plenty of them, but since I watched this movie recently, and I literally just went, "Oh yeah, she's in this." Lucy Liu in Chicago?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. This segment is called Oh, yeah. Yeah. She plays just another woman who's killed her husband and takes some of the spotlight away from Roxy. And so, yeah. And it's kind of fun and it was literally like, oh, yeah, she's in this. Another one is when I'm watching Do the Right Thing. There's a lot in there because like one of them, just because I've been watching a lot of The Mandalorian, is Giancarlo Esposito, who is he's in that. And it's so funny because it's like, oh my God, like that was almost 30 years ago. And
it is a long time.
Yeah. So that's one. Another one from another Quentin Tarantino movie would be Sam Jackson is in in Jackie Brown. So yeah, there's a lot of those little.
There's a few, but he's also in Kill Bill Part 1.
Yes, he is.
But that's another one. He's just
I would
playing
say
the guitar.
That's a thing. That would be. I would say that's a cameo.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
Anyway, so that's Denzel Washington. You had Glory and Training Day, and why do I always forget your third one?
Because you don't pay attention.
Because I don't pay attention anymore. This is
it's a shame.
It's a shame. It's a shame. And even as we're like sort of rambling on here, and I'm waiting for time.
You're like, yeah, exactly.
Glory, Training Day, and don't tell me because it's going to come to me. And let's see, TikTok. God damn it! Just tell me.
Roman J. Israel Esquire.
Roman J. Israel Esquire. Yeah. And all right. So what were my 3?
Well, don't put the pressure on me now.
I'm going
okay.
to.
Much Ado About Nothing.
Yeah.
Training Day.
Mm-hmm.
And yes.
Yes.
The Long Slow Boil there.
Yeah.
Oh, Man on Fire.
Man on Fire. That's good. All right. So here we are, folks, paying attention to what the other one says instead of just waiting to talk when the other one shuts up. So, so yeah. Hey, guess what we were doing the other day? We were making up some merch for Ticket Stubs and Popcorn. So pretty soon, instead of Batman, I'll be wearing my Ticket Stubs and Popcorn t-shirt. More on that later. But for now, you can show your support by liking and subscribing. Tell all your friends. Tell all your enemies. And
are we ready for?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's talk about what we're going to do next.
And guess what? Look,
we got lit.
We have
production values are just going through the roof, folks.
New chairs and a new bucket.
I picked last time, so I'm going to shake it.
Okay.
We've got Ticket Stubs and a Popcorn Bucket. So the name of the show. Branding, folks. Anyway.
Okay.
All right. Good one.
I think so. Well,
all right, cool.
I don't think we put any bad ones.
So no, we didn't. Well, there's some bad ones.
Maybe I don't know.
I have to take out Ethan Hawke. So, but this one,
I hope he's not watching.
This one will be fun. No, he's not watching. So, actually, Ethan Hawke, if you're out there and you want to tell us to go straight to hell, that's fine. That'd be great because then I will.
I think I could come up with 3.
I will print that up and put that on a t-shirt. So, we will see you next time. Thank you, everyone, for watching Ticket Stubs and Popcorn. I am Frank.
I'm Peter.
Like and subscribe.
Please.
Bye-bye.
Take care.